me understand you're here to seek safety and asylum as a citizen of the United States.
You got this.
My name is Juna Osborne. I am a citizen of the United States, and I seek asylum in the country
China.
Thank you. This way, please.
You've reached the Jesstination.
When we natives of the Western world decide to pick up and move from our homes in the US, the UK, Canada, and so on, then move to a country abroad, we often call ourselves expats, short for expatriates. An expatriate is defined as someone who lives outside of their native country, not someone who lives outside of their home state. That is a transplant. Por ejemplo, she is an American expatriate living in France. He is an iconic New York transplant. Words mean things. The word expatriate has this connotation that we've given up citizenship in our native country.
No, no, no.
I've had several people ask me that over the years, and I understand why. The prefix ex means without or indicates a former title or status.
Patriate
Is a verb, which means to bring under authority of a country. I can see why that might imply renouncing citizenship, but that's not what it means at all.
Because apparently you're spinning around and apparently...
Words can also be confusing. This patriot, not to be confused with this
Patriate.
This patriot is a noun, defined as a person who vigorously supports their country. Contrary to popular belief in the USA, patriot is not solely reserved for those who vigorously support Donald J. Trump.
I know China very well.
In these internet streets, I often see natives of developing countries ask why we call ourselves expats when we move to their countries, but call them immigrants when they move to ours. My first reaction to reading comments like this is always, yes, hunty, read us. But the answer is simple. Words mean things. An immigrant is a person who comes to live permanently in a foreign country. They have no plans to ever return to their native country. For example, she is an American immigrant living in France. It's that word permanently that makes things a little bit tricky. I consider myself a global citizen at this point. No place truly feels like home anymore. Depending on what I'm discussing, I've referred to myself as both an expat and an immigrant. When you decide to be an expat, you may eventually end up being an immigrant.
Immigrant is why they hate me just for being me.
Either way, you're going to go through some type of immigration process upon settling in your new country of residence. When I lived in Colombia, I had a Cédula, an identification card that said I was a resident de Medellin. So I went through an immigration process, thus making me an immigrant. But I didn't stay there permanently, did I? No, I didn't.
You go over to China.
China's immigration process is much different. Whereas Colombia was extremely welcoming and treated me like una paisa from the very start, China will remind you at all times, 你是外国人. You are a foreigner. In my 5 years as a resident of China, I had 11 different residence permits. That means 22 times I had to do this. I have to keep coming to the Yubei District Service Center / police station / PSB, or Public Security Bureau. When you are legally employed in China, your job will take care of all the paperwork and pay the fees for your permits. However, you have to show up each time to sign the application and take photos so they can always know exactly what you look like. The length of each permit depends on your job. Ideally, your contract is for 1 year, so your residence permit should also be for 1 year. In reality, that's not always the case. There are many different reasons why a PSB officer may give you a different amount of time on your residence permit that have nothing to do with you or everything to do with you. You'll never know. Most of it has to do with the district you're in, your company's status in that district, and quite frankly, how the PSB officer is feeling that day. When you finally leave your job and decide you no longer want to live and work in China, you can apply for a 30-day humanitarian stay visa. They give you that time to get your affairs in order, pack up your belongings, say your goodbyes, and go. You can't stay, you gotta go. The fee for that temporary permit is very affordable, 160 RMB. By the way, in case you were wondering, no, you cannot apply for a tourist visa while you are inside mainland China. You must leave the country and then apply. So don't think you can just extend your time by getting a tourist visa while you are still in China. You cannot. My situation leaving China is very complicated. I promise I will get into the details in a future video, but I can't right now because the story isn't over yet. The purpose of this video is to show you what an expatriate looks like. Due to my special circumstances, I had to apply for not 1, not 2, but 3 temporary stay permits. I have to keep coming to this place. I have to come here to get it updated every 20 days or so. It's good for a temporary stay visa is good for 30 days, but you have to come back before it expires. So it costs about 60 RMB for a one-way ride from my apartment to get here. So I've been taking the metro lately because that's very expensive. It adds up very quickly. And the metro ride it's a good hour and a half. Feels like 2 hours. I woke up at 7. It's 10 o'clock and I'm just now getting here. I'm hoping this is my last time having to come here to apply for one. And of course I have to pick it up, but as of September 1st, 2023, you no longer have to leave your passport at the Public Security Bureau while it is in process of your new permit. I just read that today. Today is August something, and I just saw an article about that going into effect on September 1st, and that is amazing. Here's to hoping this is my last time going into this very official government building to renew my permit for staying in this country. Last time, hopefully.
Attribution.
Yeah, I have it. I just need to print it.
You also
I have a PDF.
Oh, PDF. Okay, I'll show you.
I think they just want to make my life more difficult. I'm convinced. Every time I come here, it's a problem. Every time I come here, it's a different set of rules. No one's gonna believe this, but the last 2 times, the last 2 temporary visas, I don't know what this lady is saying. No. The last 2 times I came here for a temporary visa, they did not need an actual photo. I brought it with me. They didn't take it. They used the same picture from last time. They printed it out of I don't know, but they didn't take the physical photo. I have it at home, 2 hours away. So I have to go and get another photo taken right now, even though they didn't need it the last time. The reason why this is
frustrating
is because what I'm applying for is 7 days. 7 days. That's it. 7 days. 7 days. Go ahead and hit me. Not that car. You don't have enough money. Out here in the middle of nowhere. Walk over here and you can find a place to take a picture. Better be easy. Better be cheap. it would be cheaper to go home and get the other picture. But time, that's like 4 hours. Also, I haven't eaten anything today. Not a thing. This is supposed to be in and out. This is so good, so I can make sure I never come back here again. You show someone? Oh no. Oh yeah, I need you take pictures? 照片吗? 拍照这个吗? Oh, okay. As you might imagine, there are a lot of rules to how one must look in their Chinese identification photo. In this moment, she's asking me about my lipstick, and I have worn lipstick in every other picture, and she's like, I think you need to take that off. And I'm like, nah, sis, me not taking off no lipstick. Okay, sit down, take my photo. It's not a problem. You have to wear a solid colored shirt, preferably with no chest area exposed. You must remove jewelry, so I did have to take my earrings off. Your hair cannot be in your face. It should be pulled back or behind your shoulders, and you cannot smile in your photo. Here's the fun part, all of those rules, and yet they still will find a lot of things to Photoshop, such as my nose ring. She actually didn't Photoshop a lot, which was great. They usually go crazy removing my moles, making me 10 shades lighter. I usually end up looking like an AI version of myself. Here's the finished product. Not good, but also not bad. Could be worse. That was pretty quick. That took 20 minutes, give or take. And I printed out the documents that I was supposed to print earlier but couldn't. So now hopefully this can all be over with. Okay, they're really trying to rob me. They are really trying to rob me. Don't live in the Yubei district, maybe. That's the solution to this. Actually, the way to avoid all of this was to just leave China within the first 30 days of leaving my job.
That's a story for another time.
Maybe she just had it out for me. I don't know. I really don't know. This lady hates me, and there's nothing I can do about it. My whole life is in her control, and if they want to make me pay 2,000 RMB just to stay and handle my being done wrong, they can do it, and they did. I cannot believe how crazy this is. It's a scam. So while life here might be exciting, adventures, and yes, I made a lot of money in this place, but they're gonna steal it right back. They're gonna steal it right back every chance they get. It's a scam. It's a scam.
Get out! Get out! Get out! Okay. Get out! Get out!
I want to hear from you guys. The passengers over here in the Jesstination ship, well, we are quite the international bunch. If you are currently living in a country that you are not native to, do you consider yourself an expat, an immigrant, a global citizen? What do you think about that? Why do people get so upset about the word immigrant? Like, it really shouldn't have a negative connotation, but it does, especially in my native country. A lot of times when I say that I'm an immigrant, I do it on purpose to make people feel like, oh, yeah, you couldn't be an immigrant, you're American. Oh yeah, Americans can definitely be immigrants. Ask Mexicans. You are an immigrant if you plan to never return to your home country. So let me know in the comments, are you an expat? Are you an immigrant? Are you a global citizen who can't figure out where she wants to live, so she's just gonna keep bouncing around from country to country forever? Let me know in the comments. I hope this video has been helpful to anyone who plans to go to China soon. Now you know what to expect. And apparently it will be easier for you than it ever was for me. See you at the next Jesstination.